welcome back to Slothbox. I'm Lyndon Dixon, and today I'm joined by former WBA Continental Champion, WBO European Champion, and Commonwealth Champion Jamie Cox. Jamie, how are we getting on, mate?
All good, mate. All good.
I want to go right back to the beginning. Tell me the story. How did Jamie Cox first get into boxing?
Well, when I was when I was younger, like my dad's always into the football and stuff, and I tried the football and I wasn't really no good at it, and then one day I watched Mike Tyson versus Frank Bruno, and I just had like I don't know, I just wanted to start boxing, and I was at school having quite a lot of fights and stuff, so I thought maybe, you know what I mean, it's it was going to perfect my skills, yeah. But and and one day I was just, one day my family just took me to the gym, and I just loved the discipline of it, and you know what I mean. He kept me off the street and stuff like that. So and doing up to no good, and made me think more about the boxing. So yeah, I'm forever grateful for that.
Well, as an amateur, you did quite a lot. You fought out of the Walcott ABA club in Swindon, and you won the ABAs, won the gold in the Commonwealth Games. What did that mean to you, going from a lad that, was finding something, trying to find something to do, to having such success at an early age? How did that feel?
For me, I didn't really care about it, to be honest, because like I look at like the main goals. Like I always look at like, even to this day, like that's just how my family raised me. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to be an amateur boxer, you got to win the Olympics. Everything else in between is not really nothing. And same like with boxing, anything in between is not really anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not for a few quid. Yeah, don't worry. But if you want to be a boxer, you better be a world champion. Otherwise, it's pointless. and I would pass that on to my kids because it gives you good drive, you know what I mean? And yeah, just like, but you gotta have a good, get rich or die trying, as they say, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when you did turn over as a pro, it was at the O2 Arena against Johnny Greaves. I mean, debut at the O2, it don't really get much better than that. Talk to me about how that night went for you and how it felt stepping into the bright lights.
Yeah, I suppose when I was boxing, I suppose where I had quite a lot of fights and I was quite experienced. I wasn't really nervous, but I've had a couple of times in my career where I have been nervous, and I suppose that my debut as a pro was one of them. And I think that was because it was like a different, you want to try and shine, I suppose, or you know what I mean. And I think and I remember it well at the O2. And it was to box there on a debut was a great thing, like,
But you made pretty light work of your journey before your first title, 15-0, and then you fought for the Commonwealth belt. Did it feel like all that hard work and all that graft from a youngster finally paid off?
Yeah, I think I had a pretty much stop-start career though in the pro game. Yeah. I got banned a couple, like not banned, or I was out for a bit, and then I had things in between what happened. But I had a couple of years off here, a couple of years here. When I was training, I was always consistent. I was always just like in the gaps, I suppose. But when I was training and the ball was rolling, I never messed about or nothing like that. But yeah, when I got to the Commonwealth title, I think that's what you're in it for, because one title leads to another title, so to say. So that's what I was always interested in, just to get the first title, because then the ball starts rolling for other championships and stuff like that. So when I got there, I was I was quite happy, you know what I mean.
Well, you said that one title leads to another, and I mean 4 fights later you got the WBO European against Blas Miguel Martinez. First round knockout. Was you expecting it to go that well?
No, every fight, like if it's a journeyman or like when you're fighting for a title or something like that, you always expect it to be like the hardest. But you always train for it. You know, you're thinking it's going to be like a war or something. But yeah, you know, I take an early night. I take an early night with ease. You know what I mean? If it's there, I take it, no problem. Yeah.
What did you think to the fight itself though? Because when you talk about boxing, the European is sort of that little gap between domestic and world level where you sort of test the waters and see the quality you have. Well, back in that day, you blew him out in a round. How did you feel after the fight? What was the mentality like in the dressing room afterwards?
I think when I had a couple of early wins, you know, because I was always quite not a bad puncher, and you know, but when you have it, it don't really. I don't know if it does you justice getting the early wins because you know with the training, you know, I was more learning the sparring. I was having a lot of hard sparring to the fights, really, um, sparring all these good fighters, and the early wins, you know, because then you don't really know nothing from the fight because you got it done early, and you know you can take it into the next. So I was just taking everything from the sparring because you know obviously I had a lot of fights, amateur and pro, but actually in the moment, you know what I mean. You want a little bit of so it can give you food for thought sort of thing if you understand what I'm trying to say, Lyndon.
Yeah.
But the early wins don't really do anything for you because you just go back and think I didn't really get anything from it. You know, you just go. Obviously, yeah, you know your skills and what you trained for got you the early win, but you didn't have to go through anything. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the hard spars there and saying that you felt like at times with all those early stoppages that you learned more from the sparring. I was just wondering who's some of the toughest opponents that you've had in those spars?
Oh, mate, like Canelo, I sparred Canelo, James Gal, Beverly, a few top fight, a few I don't know world level fighters or world champions in America that I was sparring. I sparred Lyndon Arthur for quite a bit. Khan, I sparred all these people. Do you know what I mean? And you know, just so many good people around. I've you know flipping out forgot half of them. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, I'm grateful. You know what I mean? I just to share the ring with them.
Well, mate, I've got to touch on that. You mentioned sparring Canelo. It would have been a younger Canelo, but talk to me about what it was like and what those spars were like with him.
Oh, mate, I must have done about 50 rounds with him, I think. But I think Canelo is most probably like that's why he's great. You know what I mean? He's a great, and I could see when I was sparring in them, like he's most probably the best. He is the best I've ever. You know, I can feel that from him. You know what I mean? And he was such a great man as well. You know, when I was up there in San Diego, I was sparring in San Diego, and I was there for a good 4 weeks with Canelo, and it was it was a great experience, and he's the best. He's the best for a reason.
Well, you had a bit of a stop-start career after that European win. I just want to talk about you only had 2 losses in your career, one against Groves and one against Ryder. I want to talk about the first one against George Groves. It was for that WBA super middleweight title. Firstly, what do you think, looking back now, what do you think went wrong? And is that, looking back, is that sort of a bittersweet moment in your career? You fought for a world title, but didn't quite get it.
Yeah, I think you know, I think I went against the game plan. Like I was meant to just hold back a little bit, and I got too excited in the ring. And obviously, Groves is deadly all the time. You know what I mean? He's got a good shot, and he was targeting the body. But you know, that's all in hindsight. But you know what I mean? When all said and done, Groves is a great fighter. We're friends from amateurs, and you know what I mean. Same as John Ryder. You got to produce it on the day, and look what they're gone on to do. You know, they're tremendous talent.
Well, I want to talk a bit about the loss against John Ryder. You decided after that fight that was it, time to hang up the gloves. 31 years of age. Firstly, what was behind that decision? What made you think, nah, that's enough for me?
I was doing a couple of like when I'm in the gym, I'm always training, I'm living right, you know what I mean, sleeping, ticking all the boxes. But for that fight, I wasn't really doing the right things outside of the gym, and you know what I mean. You know, I think when you dedicate your time or whatever you're doing in your life, when boxing was my sort of thing, you have to, do 100%. And if I wasn't doing 100%, I'm only fooling myself. So, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I maybe could have got on with just the talent alone to win a lot more stuff. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to lie to myself. So, if I was doing stuff outside of the ring, but yeah, I was nothing major, big, but you know what I mean. I wasn't doing 100%. So you know what I mean. You can't get all you can't cheat yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you do it proper or not at all.
Well, since your retirement, you've there's been little rumours and stuff about you making a comeback, and then not long ago you said you was going to make a comeback, but in bare knuckle boxing. I was just wondering, is that still the case, or is that gone now?
Yeah, I'm still open to it. I'm still doing training now, training around it, but it's a bit of a different sort. I think it's a new sort of sport, and at the end of the day, it's not the promoter, everything else. They're all good people, and Dave Feldman and everyone, they're all great. It's just things just it's not the way I'm used to things in boxing. The business side of things just it's a little bit different, but yeah, I'm still open to that. You know what I mean? It's be something different. You know what I mean? Yeah. Listen, they throw the money down. I'm ready to go. No problem.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about what happened at the weekend just gone. The Misfits card. I saw your Twitter, and you weren't happy with what you saw. So talk to me a little bit about what you think of it and what you think of what you saw with KSI, Fury, Paul, and Dennis. What did you think?
Listen, Tommy Fury. I'm just glad about him, mate. He's the YouTube destroyer, so we're just smashing them all up. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's the YouTube destroyer. But at the end of the day, mate, when you look at fair play to Tommy, go and get a few quid. But when you look at them, they're not real fighters. They're it's called Misfits for a reason, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because listen, when Jake Paul's calling out fucking Canelo, mate, that's ridiculous. Do you understand? Listen, them three, they couldn't call me out. You know what I mean? Let alone Canelo. You know what I mean? Imagine that. All he's got to do is find his chin once, and it's game over. Yeah, but you got to look at it on a you got to look at it on a different aspect of things. It's wrestling. It's good entertainment. I like it anyway.
What would you say if they were to offer you a chance at going into the Misfits? You could become a YouTuber destroyer yourself.
Hey, listen, I'd join Tommy. I'd love to join Tommy Fury to be part of the YouTube destroyer team. Do you know what I mean? Because listen, Tommy Fury is giving them a spanking, and I'm happy about it. So, yeah.
Well, talk to me a little bit now, mate. Life after boxing. What are you up to these days?
Just normal life, mate. Just with my family, doing what I need to do, and that's it, really, mate. I can't really say nothing more. Just the same as what everyone else is doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, nothing changes, mate. I was the same when I was boxing anyway.
Well, last question from me, mate. It's been a pleasure speaking to you so far, but you've had quite the career in boxing, a few ups, a few downs. How would you like to be remembered in the sport of boxing?
I don't even think of myself to be remembered in the sport of boxing, to be honest, but it's just, no, I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed it. It was good. It was good. I had a good little go.
Well, mate, like I said, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you this evening. I've been Lyndon Dixon. It's been Jamie Cox, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you later, Lyndon. Thank you very, very much.